But first, it's time for our In Case You Missed It by HuffPost segment. Modern kids are discovering social media for the very first time, and with that comes the shocking realization that their lives have been documented since before they were even born. Here to talk about this is host of In Case You Missed It by HuffPost, Heather Gardner.
Hey guys,
Thank
you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. This is something I never really thought about. So what
either.
is it like for kids now to discover that they've been on the internet their entire lives?
I mean, we kind of grew up without social media. We grew up in a time where we kind of got to have our first Facebook, have our first Instagram, Twitter, and kind of put our own online presence out there by ourselves. But now parents are doing that for their kids. 92% of children have an online presence from their parents before the age of 2.
That is not shocking, but also shocking at the
It is,
same
right?
time.
That's exactly my reaction. I just had never thought of it. I don't have kids, so I'm not posting about babies. Maybe my nieces and nephews, but you know, I never thought about it. But this is a reality for kids logging on to Facebook for the first time, logging onto the internet, Googling themselves, and 1,500 baby photos just popping up. That's what the average parent puts on the internet of their kid.
Oh my God.
Before the age of 5, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when, and this Atlantic article talks about it, when it was cool to Google yourself and see if you're on there. But I remember Googling one time, and all my track times and skiing times up there, I'd be like, that was like a bad race. That shouldn't be up there. Like, I run faster than that. Like, but I was like, wait, everyone can look me up and see how fast I run.
You know,
that's so weird.
That's a good point too, because it's not just parents that are doing this, parents and grandparents. It's called sharenting, when it's your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles. But you know, schools and like you said, sports teams, that's a really big thing too. They'll Google their names, they'll see something. Even schools nowadays have blogs.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just supposed to be really fun and uplifting for kids and a way for parents to connect with their kids in school. However, for a child who's just discovering what the internet is, it can be a bit jarring.
Totally. Yeah, what do you think what conversation should be had with parents when a kid says, Mom, Dad, what's going on with these 2,000 photos of me?
Well, you know, the reaction is kind of mixed. When kids find it, some of them are kind of what we're like, they're completely shocked. They're like, whoa, what is this crazy new world called the internet?
Yeah.
You know, but some of them actually kind of like it. And they say, I'm famous, I'm on the internet, I feel like a real person. But you know, the conversations, I know, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of true though, when you're on the internet, you're a real person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird nowadays for someone to not have an online presence.
Yeah.
But you know, parents are sitting down with their kids, and especially the older kids, like the teenagers, the 14-year-olds who are very self-conscious in themselves anyway, are like, all right, so Mom, if you're gonna post this, let me look at it, let me get some approval first, then you can post it online. And a lot of parents actually do that. There's the flip side where parents just don't think that their kids have to consent in what they do on their own, you know, Facebook pages and stuff. And there's one mom that even went viral for flat out refusing to shut down her mom blog. She had been posting for the last 14 years on her daughter. Her daughter caught wind of it. And we're talking like this woman also, she had the blog, but she was a contributor for the New York Times and the Washington Post. And so these were very, very public like places. And her daughter was like, nah, we're done with this. Mom flat out said, I can't do that. It was her income.
See, that is so unfair to me, because even we had Kristen Cavallari on the other day, and she doesn't put her kids on her show because she's like, I want them to make the decision to be so public. And I never really thought about with social media, but if somebody had been writing a blog about me my entire life, that's everything personal about you out there for everyone to read.
Well, it depends, I guess, how she's writing it.
True.
Right? Like if she's going into specifics, and like I'm thinking of sex education right now.
Yeah.
When the sex therapist is writing about the adolescent boy going through puberty and like how she generalizes the subject. But yeah, that is definitely an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of blog posts from parents that are like sharing personal things that happen, like, oh, this is the first time they asked me about, you know, sex or this or that, and they take like a comedic angle. And sometimes I even feel like there's, I'm thinking of one mom in particular that I know, where she will talk specifically about her daughter and kind of judge her. And I would be so scared to like be Googling myself and find out that my mom basically like hates me.
Shamed you your entire life.
Has been shaming me and judging me to other parents. Like, it can get heated.
I mean, mom blogs is a whole
matter.
separate thing, because it's not just your personal Facebook pages or your personal profiles. Mom blogging is a whole different thing. It's the whole world getting kind of this personal picture of your life.
Well, it's interesting, 'cause I think children of celebrities have been dealing with this. Tina Fey and Kelly Ripa would both talk about how their respective daughters would complain to them when they got older of all the stories they would share. Of course, doing it in jest and funny stuff. But I was interesting finding out in France, there was actually a law, children can sue their parents for right of privacy. And in Europe, in general,
So
they
French.
have a, so French.
Very French.
Screw your
hate you, Mom! I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, and in Europe in general, you have this right to be forgotten where they can remove things from the internet. So I wonder if that's where we're heading.
We should have that. We should.
Yeah, I mean, and that one is really important too because, you know, we talk about embarrassing photos. It is kind of like a vanity thing. Like, I don't want potty training photos of me on the internet. Thank the Lord that was not around when I was a kid. You know, but with the European law specifically, it's really meant for children who maybe commit a crime when they're a young child.
Yeah.
And then people Google their name for a job opportunity years and years later. That's like one of the first things that pops up, and that's not fair, you know? So I think that's a really good law. Unfortunately, the US has not followed suit with France or in Europe, you know, so. We need to, though.
But when you're a parent, I mean, I'm thinking about when I'm a parent, the social media is going to be around in some form, whatever. We have a chip in our head or whatever, however it is. But are you going to share pictures of your kids? I mean, I think I will. Yeah. But will I hashtag the kid like some of these parents did?
Are you just reserving the handle for your kid?
Yeah. That's a really popular thing where people are like as soon as they figure out the name of their child, like making sure they get like the best email, the best like Instagram handle. And I'm like, that's so
That's
wild.
valuable. The handle's very valuable.
About that,
I would think that that's nice, but also you know, just let your kid go through that. Like, you might have to be like Ryan Johnson 1.0.
Well, I do think that the basis of this is really good. That parents, I mean, sharenting, they're proud of their kids. They want to share, you know, like we do on social media, every aspect of our lives, especially with grandparents and aunts and uncles far away. And I was actually at a baby shower this weekend, my sister's baby shower, and I asked the same question to my sister. I was like, are you going to share online? And she was like, absolutely. It had never dawned on her. Then I asked another mother who has a 5-year-old, and again, she never even thought. She's like, you know, I never did ask my baby his permission if I posted things. But there's also other apps too, besides like Facebook and Instagram, besides those very public. Tinder for babies. No, but there's like photo sharing sites that you can just do between phone numbers. So it's not a public thing, but you can still share. So these are conversations that I think parents should really take into consideration.
I think so, but also I think just at the end of the day, remember, like, no one really wants to see your baby. So
I do.
No, you know what's really funny?
I have a lot of friends who do, they share the photos of the baby, but they'll put an emoji hiding its face. So like they're sharing like its body, and they're like, oh, look at this, it's like blanket. It's like Michael Jackson with blanket, and I'm like, get over it. Like your baby, like either share it or don't, but don't do this have season and out kind of thing.
I'm sort of in between the two of you. I'm like everything in moderation. I think you can definitely post photos of your baby. It doesn't need to be daily. Hey, it doesn't need to be weekly. Also, don't post a picture of your baby that like you wouldn't want posted.
Right.
So if it's like something embarrassing, I think you have to put yourselves in those shoes.
Like potty training.
Thank
or
you.
running around in a, you know, a diaper.
Or bath time. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to see pictures of your kid in the bathtub.
It's
I don't. I think
it's a little creepy. It is. And, you know, also the dangers of social media, too.
I think people are creepy.
People are creepy.
People can people can take those pictures and put them on pedophile sites.
Exactly.
And that has happened to several parents, you know, nowadays.
Welcome to Build Brunch.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys
for
having me.
Conversation.
Appreciate it.
And you can catch In Case You Missed It by HuffPost on HuffPost.com and Yahoo's Roku channel.